Gustin as he talks about the return of him as the Flash in the DCU. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DC TV videos later this year. So in recent weeks, both Grant Gustin and James Gunn have been brought up online in the same conversations, and so people have been speculating, could Grant Gustin show up as the Flash in the DCU? We talked about it in a previous video that Grant was actually interested in joining the DCU. He said in a video at a convention that he would be open to actually joining the DCU if James Gunn approached him and wanted him to play the Flash once more. And James Gunn also replied to him, also Tom Cavanagh as well, because obviously there's lots of questions. Could there be any continuations with any of the Arrowverse characters, but specifically the ones with the most interest is like the Flash and Arrow. So we've got an answer today. This is from The Wrap, so I'll leave a link in the description below so you can go check out the article. And the article is basically The Wrap talking to Grant Gustin, and he replied to what has been going on online. So this is how the article goes. We're going to break it down bit by bit throughout this video. So James Gunn's new DCU is nearly here, and fans are very much hoping that he might bring Grant Gustin in to reprise his role as the Flash at some point. Obviously, and now this is me talking, that's because Grant is the most popular Flash. He played the Flash for 10 years, and that's because the show was super popular, everyone likes Grant, and he is quite clearly the best Flash that we've ever seen in live action before. And so according to the actor, he and Gunn have exchanged DMs, but only about Gunn's other project, Superman. And so in recent weeks, both Gustin and Gunn have separately expressed interest in working with each other. For Gustin, it came at a convention when a fan asked him if he'd play the Scarlet Speedster again after starring as the character for 9 seasons on The Flash. For Gunn, it came on Thread, so that's what I mentioned at the start of the video. But for the record, Gustin notes that the decision is so above my pay grade, and no conversations have actually been had. So that's Grant Gustin confirming that to The Wrap, and obviously he says it's above my pay grade. Doesn't mean that he's on Warner Brothers' payroll right now. Obviously he is for, you know, the Flash and I guess the money that comes in, but apart from that, he's got no link to the DCU right now, no link to Warner Brothers, because he is busy on Broadway doing his new show that's called Water for Elephants, and he's going to be doing that for the foreseeable future. And so this is the quote from Grant Gustin that he gave to The Wrap. It's so funny, that first video that came out of me, I didn't even know I was being filmed, Gustin told The Wrap. I was at one of those conventions and someone asked me if I'd ever do it. And I've always told people it's not up to me, which is entirely true. It's not up to him, it's up to James Gunn, it's up to Peter Safran, it's up to the writers, the directors that are involved in these projects, because if they want him to come, they'll ask him to come, but it's not up to Grant. And so he goes on by saying, and I think the person asked me, like, if James Gunn wanted you to, and it's like, yeah, if James Gunn wanted me to, I trust James Gunn, I love all the movies he's put out, I'm a fan. And then, yeah, I guess he caught wind of that and said something nice. And so that's Grant's response to what has been said online. Obviously, there was lots of speculation. And we know that Grant is totally open to returning as the Flash because he had a really good experience on the CW playing the character for 9 to 10 years, because he was introduced in Arrow originally, but before the first Flash episode came out. So I don't think any of his comments come as a surprise, but it's just nice to hear. However, it must be said that there is nothing absolutely concrete about what has been said, because yeah, they've been talking online, yeah, they've been talking in person, Grant is open to coming back, and James really likes what Grant did as the Flash, and maybe at some point he'll put him in there, but for now, there is no like actual concrete evidence that they have actually had any conversations, because in reality, this is what the article says, Gustin and Gunn have never properly met and they haven't had any conversations, but Gustin does note that they've chatted in DMs on social media, so obviously that's a new addition to this whole conversation. We didn't know that they've actually chatted. Like, as far as I know, I think they were just admirers of each other's work. And so Gustin says, not even when all that went down, I think it was beforehand about something completely unlike. We've never talked about the Flash. And so he actually DM'd Gunn, or, you know, it was the other way around, I don't know. But they never actually talked about the Flash, and they actually talked about something different. He says, we've talked just like I'm a huge Superman fan, and I've always been a Superman fan since I was a kid, so I'm just really excited about the movie, and I'm excited about David's casting. And that said, Gustin notes he's also never met David Corrin Sweat, who will be playing the Kryptonian Falcon in Superman. He is just a fan and thinks it's good casting. And so, yeah, that's really interesting to hear that, you know, they've talked before, but they've talked about Superman. We've all known, if you guys are followers of The Flash or followers of Grant Gustin, that Superman is his favorite character. We've known that since day one, and so this doesn't surprise me at all, once again, that he's actually messaged James Gunn talking about Superman and just, you know, I guess opening up the conversation, which is obviously good for us fans because they've actually made contact. Yes, it's not in real life, it's not any like official conversations, but at least they're chatting, at least they talked about Superman, at least James knows that Grant is actually interested in what he's doing in the DCU, and so he says, I'm excited to see what James Gunn does with it. So I think at one point, maybe a couple of different times, we've DM'd about Superman, we've literally never talked about The Flash. I'm just excited to see what he's doing with Superman. So that is what Grant Gustin had to say about all of this. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think about all of this? I think these conversations and these quotes in interviews are actually a good thing. I think at least, you know, the profile of Grant is still up there and people are still interested in what he is doing, and there is definitely the potential in the future that if they ever got to talking about returning as the Flash, that I think it would actually happen. It doesn't mention if it's DC or not, but pretty much all of his projects in the near future are going to be DC now that he's head of DC Studios, so he's not going to be making like any indie films or any kind of Disney films or anything for a long time, it seems. So it looks like the door is open for either Gustin to return as the Flash or potentially show up as a different character in the DCU. And given the talks of like Jason Momoa showing up as Lobo, there's definitely precedent for other major actors to show up in different roles compared to, you know, DC roles that they've had before. We've obviously seen that in the Arrowverse. It's got a long history of having major people from DC's history actually return playing different characters, and you've seen that on Supergirl, you've seen that on The Flash, like with John Wesley Shipp, for example. He played Barry Allen, he played The Flash in the 90s, and then he showed up and played Jay Garrick in The Flash. So DC is very hot on bringing actors back that have a legacy within the franchise, and so I think at some point surely you're going to see Grant Gustin return. I just think for now nothing's confirmed. This is just speculation. This is two people admiring each other's work, and so really it depends on like how long it's going to be until they want to have the Flash in the DCU, because if they wait like 5+ years, I think Grant can still play Barry. Now, obviously, if they wait like 10+ years to have the Flash, maybe Grant's a bit old by then. He'll be in his 40s. I don't know if he would play Jay Garrick. Jay Garrick's traditionally older than 40, so he could still play an older Barry Allen potentially, but he wouldn't be that kind of young CW type Barry Allen that we saw, because he would be in his 40s if they waited like 10 years to have a Flash. I don't think they're going to wait that long. As I said in previous videos, I think Wally West will show up in Teen Titans first, and he will be like the introductory Flash into this new DC universe, and then I think you would have Barry Allen, you would have a Flash orientated film come out sometime after that, but for now it's just not the main priority. So that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Also share this around with your friends, anyone that's interested in the Flash or DC. I would love to get more people joining in on the channel, and also please be sure to tune in on Thursday for my weekly live streams. We do it at 10 p.m. UK time, which is about 6 p.m. on the East Coast in America, so in New York and different cities around that coast. And so please be sure to join. I would love to have you guys on board. I really want to get more people into the live streams, try and get like at least